Hey, it's Donetta.
And Felicia.
And we're daring you to be you.
Right here on Clay Radio, 1180 AM, your conversation station. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, we're so excited. Today is going to be a fun show. It's going to be a kind of a serious show in some regards also, because we're touching a subject that, I know that it's close to my heart. And Felicia, I'm pretty sure that you may have heard or know of someone who deals with this particular topic. But we're talking about bipolar disorder today. We're talking about how to overcome the stigma of mental illness. And specifically, like last week, we saw a video of an actress, a TV actress named Maya Campbell.
Yeah.
Do you remember her? She was in that TV show In the House with LL Cool J. LL, yeah, the rapper. And it was pretty interesting because I was just on Facebook and I was just scrolling down and I just saw like this message saying that LL Cool J was upset with some man in Atlanta because of the fact that he posted this video of Maya Campbell, and the video was not very flattering. And I haven't been following her career since, then it's been years.
I watched the show a little bit, but I think it was a rapper by the guy by the name of T. Hood, and they were at a gas station. Yeah.
So he's a rapper.
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Oh, okay. So, I thought he was just a Joe Schmo from
I
Pokemon.
couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But he got his 5 minutes of fame, I guess.
Yeah, now we know who T. Hood is,
We know
right?
who he is. I don't know. I haven't heard his music,
That's
but
what we need to do.
Yeah.
Find somebody, videotape them, and then all of a sudden we can make a name for ourselves.
yeah, that's what it is. But basically, that's what happened with him. He was able to do a video of Maya Campbell. Apparently, in this video, he says that he's friends with her, but it was a video that was less than flattering. And so what I did was I actually it started me to go start Google like what's been going on with her since, the 90s, since she was on this show. And as a result, that's when I learned I didn't know that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Yeah, back when she was like a teenager or something like that.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. I don't think anybody knew. And actually, the only reason I found out was because when I saw the video, I wanted to, find out a little bit more. She's a gorgeous girl.
She's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah,
she's a young lady. She's a woman, but and then her mother she passed away back in 2006. But her mother was B.B. Moore Campbell, and her mother actually, and that was interesting also because her mother actually wrote a book for children, I believe, on mental illness, how to deal with relatives and family members who suffer from various mental illnesses. I have to look up the book, but and that's very interesting. So I don't know whether or not she was actually dealing with those issues herself, B.B. Moore Campbell, Maya Campbell's mother. I'm not too sure if she was dealing with that herself or what have you, but she had some background knowledge of that. But the beautiful thing about it is that I'm glad that she did write that book because of the fact that book helps so many family members and relatives, because I think that when it comes down to mental illness, or when people talk about bipolar disorder, it could run in a family. We could know if there's a family member who has been diagnosed with that particular disorder, and then what happens is that we just kind of sweep it under the rug, or we throw them in a closet, or you ignore it.
It's like, that's just crazy Leroy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
He just needs to take his meds. If he just takes his meds, he'll be all right,
Yeah, and a lot of times people just don't take it seriously. It's like that's just the way that they are, But it's pretty interesting at the rise of several different types of mental illnesses. I mean, I think up until recent, you think about, I know we're talking about bipolar disorder, but think about all the people that you've talked to that has anxiety.
Yes.
Or panic attacks. Right there.
Agoraphobia or something.
They don't even know.
Like that.
It just hits them and they can't move, they can't do anything. So, yeah, it's like something's got to give. It's like, but we have the stigma of, it's like, okay, who do I talk to about it? People are going to think I'm Can I say crazy on the radio?
Well, you could say crazy. Yeah, you could say it. And I mean, that's what the way that people think. And it's not so much. And of course, our show is daring you to be you. So we want to promote the opportunity for people to be confident in them and themselves, who they are. But I guess one of the issues, and we'll tackle this issue also, is how do you maintain your confidence knowing that you have a mental illness, or how people will perceive you as a result of that mental illness. So, for instance, right now, Maya Campbell right now is in a position, she's in a powerful position because and it's negative. She's getting all this negative backlash and negative publicity because of the fact that, you know, this video has been put out and it's less than flattering or what have you. But she, in the one video that she came out where she actually sent a message to LL Cool J, she actually asked him, hey, if you really want to do something,
right. Concert, right?
Yeah, she actually told him, okay, do a mental health benefit concert. And I'm like, okay, that's really awesome. That would really be something positive if someone like him or other famous celebrities, and I know that there's tons of famous celebrities.
There's them that have those issues too.
Well, it's true. No, it's not that they downplay it, because there's like Demi Lovato. She just came out.
But she had issues too before, but she didn't. She came out because it was like, I can't remember exactly. I don't know. Oops, sorry guys, but Demi Lovato, wasn't it something with her grandma that kind of triggered it as well, where it came out into the open?
Well, she wasn't diagnosed formally until she was 22 years old.
Right.
So as a result, I mean, she was young herself. You have to look at her. She's been on the Disney Channel. She was, you know, a celebrity at a young age, and she was doing a whole lot of stuff in terms of her career.
Has a lot to do with it, though? Maybe that has something to do with that.
Well, no, I don't know that it has something to do with it, but because with bipolar, there's a portion of it, and I won't say necessarily what the percentage is, but it can be hereditary. So there's a genetic influence to it as well. But so, you know, but then of course is that nature versus nurture. How much of it is the genetic? Because you're genetically predisposed. Predisposed. I'm trying to say the word, but you just have that genetic makeup that basically puts you in the category of developing the symptoms. But the likelihood of it. But then when you look at it also, it's just like your environment, because sometimes you could be genetically.
I know.
Okay. Genetically, you can say, okay, I'm obese. You know, everybody in my family is obese. So you know, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be obese.
Right.
You see, because if you chose to eat
on
healthy,
where you are, that beef sandwich might be good.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But if you're a person who basically comes from a family who everyone in the family is obese, and then what ends up happening is that you choose to say, okay, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to exercise, and I'm going to do everything opposite than what everyone else in my family is doing, then you're not going to develop all those symptoms that the rest of the family, you know, is developing, because of the fact that you're basically changing the environmental issues or your environmental cues. We're going to break. Oh my goodness. Okay, so just got the cue music. But we'll continue this discussion a little bit later. But you're listening to Clay Radio, 1180 AM, your conversation station.
He's talking about them, so it's...
Well, the thing is true.
That's what I noticed online.
Yeah, well, see, the thing about it is that why don't people have compassion, you know, when they see that there's someone who is actually suffering from mental illness? That's the question. Why no compassion at all? If you see a celebrity that has, and I think, and the reason why I'm focusing in on celebrities is because of the fact that people have a tendency of thinking that those with money, those with fame, fortune, and all of that good stuff, that they don't suffer the same issues as the common Joe. You know what I mean? And if your name is Joe, I'm not trying to put you out there on blast, but I'm just saying is that what I'm trying to say is that, you know, just because, like, for instance, Demi Lovato, she's been in the spotlight since she was a child. You know, she was on the Disney Channel. She was a singer. I enjoyed her comedy shows, and my kids enjoyed watching her shows on the Disney Channel and the Camp Rock. And I mean, she's very talented. And so it came out that she was battling, she was doing cutting, she was had a drug addiction as well as bulimia. She had all of these issues that came up, and then she was formally diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she entered rehab when she was 22 years old. So what happens is that a lot of people, she's actually advocating for mental illness awareness and so on and so forth, the stigma behind it and stuff. And she's very talented, very beautiful. She's an awesome person, but that stigma of having bipolar disorder, you know, sometimes sticks in the back of people's minds and their way of thinking about a person, to the point where they can't see who that person truly is because of the stigma.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot of people who are afraid of that stigma, and they're afraid to walk in their truth, that yes, I have the symptoms, I experience these symptoms of mental illness, I experience all of these things that happen, you know, as a result of bipolar disorder, the mania, and we'll go into that, and the depression and all of that. But hey, you know what, you know, I am who I am. I still have all these gifts, I still have all these talents, I still have all these abilities, and my heart is to touch people's lives. And that's basically what she wants to do and stuff. And I applaud her for that. You know,
yeah.
I applaud that. But then when you have the other side of the spectrum, where you have someone like Maya Campbell, she's just trying to make it. You know, she's just trying to survive. She's just trying to make it. And thankfully, we saw that there was someone who stepped up. There's a life coach that actually stepped up and combed the streets looking for her, and actually helped her to be to get checked into a mental health facility in Atlanta, Georgia. So I applaud that life coach. I applaud that person who actually stepped up to the plate. You know, you have all these people who are posting videos and putting out their, you know, different commentary on Maya Campbell's situation, but no one's actually going forth. I shouldn't say no one, excuse me, but there's the very few who is actually trying to do something, you know, when they see her pain.
Oh yeah.
What she's experiencing.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is, you know, maybe we should, there are a lot of people that really don't understand what bipolar disorder is. There are some people that you can see someone and it's like one day they may be a bit down or just kind of hum, and then the next time you see them, they're like bouncing off the wall. So maybe that's something we should just talk about a little bit, and some of the symptoms or things to look for, just to help folks recognize what's going on.
Well, I think the first thing to put out there, first and foremost, is the fact that just because of the fact that you may see someone experiencing like at least one or
like
two.
A ricochet rabbit? Come
yeah,
on,
well, no, not necessarily a ricochet rabbit, but I'm just saying, because you have some people who like to diagnose people. Oh no, you got bipolar disorder. You got bipolar disorder. You know, and because you're doing this, you're doing that, and I think that is important as a disclaimer. You know that, you know, they may display the symptoms, but you don't know actually whether or not it is genuinely bipolar disorder until they are formally diagnosed by a mental health professional. And so that's our disclaimer right here, because even though we're having a discussion about this, we're giving the you know, some of the signs or symptoms, if you see the signs and symptoms, you can just gently suggest, hey, you know, I see that you're going and having some issues, or you're having some trouble.
Now who's telling somebody that?
Well, they need to, because of the fact that they need to, because of the fact that that's the reason why there's some. Because what if someone actually stepped up to Demi Lovato and said, you know what, you're cutting. I see that you're going through bulimia. I see that you're going through all of this stuff, and I see that it's not right.
Security.
So no, because of the fact that she loved ones, people who are close to her, just talking to her and say, hey, you know what, I'm really concerned about you and all the stress and all the pressure that you're going through. I don't know whether or not you're handling it well, and that's the reason why you're doing what you're doing. But whatever the case may be, I really think that maybe you should get some help. And when you suggest, and I think it's a responsibility of the other people also, because it's just like when you have someone who is suggesting that you need help, is not something negative. It's actually the precursor, because of the fact that it's a cry to say, hey, I love you, and I care for you, and I'm seeing some signs and symptoms that if you don't get yourself checked out, that is going to lead you down a negative path to where something self-destructive is going to happen. And so that's the reason why I say that, because of the fact that, you know, I know of many cases where it did lead to self-destructive, to a life being taken. So that's why I say it's important to actually speak up and not just say, you know, so-and-so, he up here doing this or she up here doing that, you know, she needs to stop. And there's all this chitter-chatter behind the back of the individual to talk about the signs, to talk about the symptoms, and talk about the person, but to actually implement and try to help that person by talking to them and helping them to realize the severity of the situation. That's what's important, because of the fact that a lot of these people, they already are in a position where they feel as if that nobody cares for them. So all that chitter chatter that's going behind their back isn't helping them. You know what I mean? But actually demonstrating that, hey, and that's what that woman did with Maya Campbell. When by her actually combing the streets and trying to find her, someone she didn't even, I'm thinking that Maya Campbell never met this woman before in her life, but this woman took the time and put forth the effort to demonstrate love and compassion to say, I see this woman is in trouble, and I'm going to do what I can to talk to her and talk her down just so that she can be able to seek help and seek treatment. And that's basically what I'm talking about, developing that compassion, having compassion, instead of saying, ooh, girl, you saw so-and-so, she did, get out your video phone, you see her, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she did this or he did that, and taking out that video phone and you know, getting a videotape of, you know, embarrassing behavior or problematic attitudes or behavior that's less than flattering. You know, it would be a whole lot more better if you had someone to actually show that they cared.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do. I agree with pretty much everything that you said. However, I think in putting the responsibility on someone else, we can't put the full responsibility on them. We can talk to someone if you have that type of rapport with them, or if you think that you can talk to them about something like that. But I think it's very delicate. I really do. And I get it, because it's like if you see something that's happening across the street and someone needs help, then there are many of us that feel like it's our responsibility to go over there and help, you know, someone. But then there are some people that are like, okay, well, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know how to go over there and help out, so I'm just going to stay right here. You know, so, and it's like with the mental...
But see, there's a difference between the stranger on the street and your family member that's right there, in either in your household.
It depends.
And your
you can
family.
have problems with your family member. There were plenty of people that... there are plenty of people out there that whose family members were afraid of them. And you're not going to say anything to them. So this person with the mental illness is pretty much running the house. There are lots of cases out there.
But there, with cases like that, that's what I'm saying, is that if you see something, someone who needs help, or you yourself, because what you're talking about is an individual who's in a situation, they themselves may need help. So it's the help, actually going out there and getting help. If you can't do it, then inviting someone in who can.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
what
right.
I'm saying. It's one of those things where you can make the suggestion. If the person doesn't accept the suggestion that you're making and stuff, then you can actually seek opportunities for someone else to basically come in and help you out. You see what I'm saying? And trying to address the situation, because no one's saying that you're the answer all to everything in a person's life. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you see someone with who is displaying the signs and symptoms of a mental illness, instead of talking about that person or coming in a combative fashion against that person, then helping them to understand the need for them to seek help and assistance. And it can be very frustrating, because sometimes when people, especially anyone who has dealt with someone who is addicted to drugs or alcohol or other substances, or who is participating in any different types of problematic behavior that is going to lead them into a downward spiral. When you first talk to the person, they're not going to jump and say, hey, I need help, I'm going to get help. I mean, the chances of that happening, I'm not going to say with a statistical, but it's going to be a battle. You understand? But I'm just saying that actually be willing to be engaged in that battle, instead of saying, hey, you know what, that's your problem, you need to take your meds. If you take your meds, then you wouldn't have those issues that you're having. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, we have to take another break. Yeah. You're listening to Clay Radio, 1180 AM, your conversation station. This is Donetta.
And Felicia.
And we'll be right back. Okay, this thing don't want to go on pause.
This one?
Yeah,
I was like...
Oh, you know why? Because I'm thinking if they're talking very rapidly or excessively, that's a symptom or a sign. Needing less sleep than normal, yet still having plenty of energy, that's a symptom. Feeling agitated, irritable, hyper, and easily distracted, that's something to look out for. Engaging in risky behavior, such as lavish spending, impulsive sexual encounters, or ill-advised business decisions. So these are factors that you take into consideration, because the person is just like, okay, why are you doing that? Like a lot of cases, you may find that the individual is very promiscuous. That's where the drugs and alcohol comes in, just in a party mood all the time, and joyriding in cars, excessively speeding, like they just mentioned, or like you just mentioned when we just were talking about it. And but then after all of that, they go into their lows, where they go into their just a depressive state, and they have no interest in any activities that they once enjoyed. They have a loss of energy. At one moment, I just said that they had this abnormal excitement and elevated mood, and they were like party, party, party. But now, is this all of a sudden they're just like, okay, they lost energy. They have no joy in doing any type of activities. They have difficulty sleeping, sleeping too much, or just not sleeping at all. Then they may have changes in their appetite, eating too much or too little. So those people who are, emotional eaters, you may find people who have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder who, have some emotional eating issues going on. Difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions. And then also thoughts of death or suicide. So this is the reason why it's so important, because of course no one wants to see someone take their life. So that's the reason why knowing the symptoms and signs of bipolar disorder is very necessary. And if you see someone who has those signs or symptoms, the ones that I just listed, is so important to actually try to get them to seek out help, because you don't want them to be in a self-destructive state where they harm themselves to the point where there's no coming back.
But there are we going to put that on our page as well? Some of the treatment centers that they can go to. We name them here, but there are a ton of them that are out there. Lots of places where you can go for help. Your help started your health department.
Yeah, yeah.
And then work your way from there.
And then that's just us. We're Academic Research Solutions, Inc., and we provide that mental health research and consultation services. So it's just like for me, you just give me a call, ask for Donetta, and I'll just give you all the information that you need. So, but yeah, that's basically what it is that, and like I said, there's so many celebrities that you would be surprised that they're actually making it.
What?
They're making it. The celebrities. There's so many celebrities that's out there that's actually doing well in terms of overcoming, the stigma of mental illness and being able to just go and be productive in terms of their career.
Yeah.
And stuff, and it just goes to show that just because of the fact that you are diagnosed with a mental illness doesn't mean that you can't live a full and productive life and actually be an advocate and helping others to realize the issues and that they don't have to stay in that state, that they actually can get help and live a better life. And that's what the key is. And so, like I named the singer Demi Lovato. She's an actress, and the kids love her. I mean, the kids just love her. I know there's some adults that love her because they grew up with her and stuff. But she's beautiful. She's talented. She's awesome. I love her also. But like I said, she actually did a campaign saying, "Be vocal, speak up for mental illness." It was out in 2015. So she is an advocate for mental health issues and stuff. So I applaud her for that. Then, do you remember that Nothing Compares to You, that song Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor?
Yeah.
She was diagnosed as well. With bipolar disorder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
she of course, like everyone would say, she says she's a work in progress, but aren't we all, right?
Oh, wow.
We're all works in progress, so there's no shame, none whatsoever. So we're all trying to aspire, to do greater and bigger and better things. But yeah, she's someone who's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and very talented and beautiful woman. And Jane Pauley.
Oh yeah,
Jane Pauley. She is someone who's was very successful. And you know what? I know at one point in time we're going to talk about schizophrenia because schizophrenia is an issue that a lot of people are dealing have family members, and they think that they can't get the help that they need and still live full, productive lives. So we're going to talk about that at another time, but we have to go to break. You're talking to Donetta
and Felicia,
and we are on Clay Radio 1180 AM, your conversation station. Okay, so and we're back. This is Donetta
and Felicia,
and daring you to be you. So we've been having this discussion about bipolar disorder and the signs and symptoms, and talking about various celebrities who has been diagnosed with the disorder, and like I said, we left off saying in the last segment, if you do know of someone who has been diagnosed with a mental disorder, or if you want more information on this particular topic, you can feel free to give us a call, or you can email us, or just to touch base with us on all of this, because it's something that I know that sometimes you just want to be able to have a conversation with someone who basically can understand the struggle. So our company is Academic Research Solutions, Inc., and we have mental health research and consultation services that we provide, and you can go to our website, www.ars-mhrcs.com, and you can basically look for information there, our phone number, our office address, and you can email us and get in contact with us. But one of the things that we like to do, in addition to have discussions about mental health, various mental illnesses and mental health issues, is we like to empower individuals. And one of the ways that we like to empower individuals is conducting workshops. We actually have a workshop for young people.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow we have our workshop, Overcoming Fear of Failure. Yes. We had such a fun time with this workshop the last time that we did it, and I'm excited to be able to do it again tomorrow. So we actually will be having a webinar, the Overcoming Fear of Failure webinar. That the first webinar session will be next Monday at noon. So I'm excited about that. That's next Monday, July 24th. And yes, so look out for that information. That information will actually be on our website, and we'll let you know how you can register for the webinar. And it also will be on replay, so you'll be able to gain access to that, to where you can be able to watch the actual workshop, to get information and all of that good stuff, and get the materials for it, because we can mail you the materials for the webinar as well. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. But also, just to give you on another note real quick, if you didn't get any of the information, or if you didn't have a pen to jot down what Donetta just said, you can always look at our page on Facebook, Dareu2bu. If you look there, you'll see the upcoming workshop tomorrow at the Uptown Coffee and Cafe. It's located at 2700 Milton Way in Milton, Washington. If you need directions, all of that information will be on our site as well.
Yes. So please feel free, if you have a teenager or a young person that definitely wants to get in on that. Actually, we need to tell them about Senior Week.
Yeah, Senior Week.
Yes, actually, okay, let me tell you about this real quick. I know time is of the essence, but how many of you know that seniors this is a time where they experience a whole lot of anxiety? Because just think about it, they're going through a process of change, a life change. I mean, they've spent like a good 11.5 years of their life in an academic environment where teachers and parents were telling them what they needed to do. Make sure you do this, make sure you do that. And they've been guided for 11.5 years on their academic journey, and now they're on their last leg of that journey, and they're learning that, hey, you know what, I'm going to be independent. I'm no longer going to be in the quote unquote kid status, and I'm going to be out on my own. I'll be turning 18 and technically can be out on my own. My parents can kick me out legally. But and so a lot of kids, they feel anxiety about their future. So what we're doing is we're having on August 23rd and 24th, we're having a senior boot camp where we're actually going to help students who are entering into their senior year of high school. We're helping them by providing them with materials that they can be able to use in preparation for their senior year. And we'll be discussing several topics that's on their heart right now concerning all of the life changes and the life issues that they'll have to face in the coming year, and staying motivated to continue through the path. Because we all know senioritis. I mean, by December, I think even before December, I was suffering from a bad case of senioritis where I didn't feel like doing anything. You don't remember, Felicia, about senioritis?
When I go back to my senior year, I think to myself, and when you speak about 11.5 and having that guidance, I guess my take on that as well is that there are some kids out there that didn't have that guidance.
Yes.
That is my take on the senior boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an opportunity for them to come and to participate in this and to find all of the information that they need to do. It's a guideline to help them along their way.
Yeah.
My senior year, I went back to school in September. We had homecoming in October, Christmas, spring break, prom, out. And there were so many kids that were leaving. It's like, oh, I got accepted here, and then you had some of these kids who didn't really have a detailed conversation with their parents about what was next. It's assumed in some families that you just know what's next. You're supposed to go to college, or you go to the military.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to
those type of discussions, because I know for me what it basically was, and I know it's for a lot of teenagers who have already went through the process of taking their SATs, their ACTs, and different things like that, and they already been accepted into college, and they kind of get lazy. And that's where the senioritis comes in. You kind of get lazy because and don't put forth the work or effort that you need to finish off strong, finish off the year strong. And some people get senioritis as soon as they start their senior year, but it's not, and it's not limited to high school students. You get senioritis when you're in college as well, or graduate school. It's just that mentality, or it's not necessarily a mentality, but what happens is that you've worked so hard for a certain period, and then it's just like you're at that last leg of the race.
Oh.
That last leg of the race, and it's just like, okay, you know what? I'm tired. I don't feel like running anymore. You know what I mean? I just like, okay, I'm just gonna stop right here, and I've made it this far. Woohoo! Yeah, yay! Give me my medal right now. I don't care. Give me 24th place. I don't care. I'm just tired. So it's just fine until you get that one person that comes up behind you and say, hey, what you doing sitting down there? Come on, we're gonna finish this race together, and they're willing to run with you so that you can actually accomplish the finishing of that race. So that's who we are. We're the two people who are actually going to be with those seniors who are willing to participate in this, and just basically say, hey, we're going to help you finish strong. That's what our goal is, to help these seniors to finish the last leg of their race strong. Yes, well, it's finishing strong, but then it's a new beginning also. It goes into starting a brand new beginning and finding out what will be their new beginning, whether it's going to college, going to technical school, getting a job, going into military, whatever path that they choose, they're going to need that motivation. They're going to need that that's who we are. Academic Research Solutions. We are the librarian for your